Now, whenever I have the opportunity to talk about businesses, the first thing I always love to look at is the business foundation. And today I'll be specifically talking about certain wrong foundations that entrepreneurs, especially people who just jump into the entrepreneurship thing and really want to get out the result as soon as possible. There are some wrong foundations that you find yourself in, mindset, attitudes, actions that makes a lot of things happen in the wrong way. And one of the problems I've discovered when it comes to uncovering wrong foundation is something I'm going to attach to the millennials in business. Pardon me, but I have to bring up this. Well, why do I have to bring up millennials in business? It's because we have the largest number of millennials in businesses today, especially in startup companies. Why? Because they're the future of every generation. So who is a millennial, if you may ask me? A millennial is somebody who was born in the late 90s. If you were born sometime from the 1995 till dates, I think you're part of the millennial. So millennials in business, most millennials, we have exceptional ones that have grown their businesses very wonderfully well. I have a few of my clients who run under that category, and I can tell you some of them are doing pretty well. But one of the things I want to address today in the millennial businesses and other businesses today is wrong foundation. Now, I'm going to be mentioning some of these factors, but I'm going to start with number one. And number one problem is the perfect picture syndrome. I think that is the number one problem a lot of entrepreneurs today are facing. Why? Because you just want to, yes, it's fine to have a perfect picture of where you're going at when you're starting up your business, having a great vision and then running towards it. But the problem starts when you try to overly do these things and when you try to apply them even before you get started in business, or when you're actually running your business and things are not moving well and you just have a problem with that. Well, if you're running a business, you ought to think of looking stupid. You ought to think of understanding that not everybody will accept what you do. You ought to think of the challenges. You ought to think of being strong and being confident no matter what. So in the perfect picture, there are going to be some ugly things you have to deal with. Now, in the perfect picture syndrome, I have found out that a lot of things have actually increased the tendencies of a lot of people to go through this trauma, because I call it a trauma. And I'm going to mention some of the things, the factors that have affected these things. And number one, I'm going to call and mention, pardon me to mention this, but I'm going to talk about it. And I call it the perfect parenting attitude. You know, today a lot of parents really are doing awesome jobs in raising their kids. They're trying to make sure they have everything at the tip of their hands. They just want to have everything at the beck and call. And I think this is also trying to be a problem, because today, parents globally are trying to make sure that children don't lack anything, are trying to provide everything, are trying to give, children the idea that they are very special, and that's wonderful. But the truth is, you need to let a child know why they are special. Giving children awards, giving them merits or credits at things that they have not achieved is a wrong way to do those things. And I was having the conversation with a 15-year-old entrepreneur, and I asked her, why do you think you can run a successful business? And she says, I just know I can do it. And I said, why do you say you can do it? Because my mom says I can do it. And I said, why did your mom say she can do it? And she said, I don't know, but she just says I can do it. Now, I think that's wrong. As a parent, yes, it's wonderful to train your kid with the belief mindset, the positive mindset, but it's also very important to let them know what their strengths are. If a child is good, is awesome, if you think a child is going to be awesome, why don't you tell the child that they have to have or develop a thought attitude, or just tell them something about themselves that makes them know that they're qualified to be given some titles.